I begin? And why did we even start? Too old to be a famous YouTuber. This in the least was never our intention. Now let's begin this story with a friend helping a friend. Now Susie needed a helping hand, as did I. We always ran into each other when we hit rough terrain for some reason. Always stuck our hands out to lift each other up first, then ask questions later. She was in a rough patch in her life, and I needed to be closer to my job and out of my mother's house. That's another story for another time. So it only made sense. I won't get into any details, but it was pretty bad. She had a pretty bad breakdown. Frightened and concerned for her, I gave her some advice that saved me from my own mind when I was in her exact spot. I told her, do something with your hands. After I spoke these words, not knowing at that moment how it would have impacted her life and mine, it was all gravy and biscuits after that. She's come so far from braiding bracelets for therapy to professional jewelry on Etsy. She began school for hypnotherapy and life coaching, and boy oh boy, she is nothing like the woman I found a year ago. If any woman needed someone to look up to, it's her. We started a vlog with merchandise and then started having to film ourselves, our nonsense. But we kept doing the show, hopefully to help those who are lost in the dark laugh their asses off, in hopes they spark that fire to guide them to a better place. I'm proud of you, Susie. I love you, girl. You my homie G-Dog. Keep up the good work. You're amazing.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. I second that 10,000 million billion times. I am
Oh, thank you.
Very proud.
So that was a little snippet from my friend Aisha, who I do a show with. Well, I used to do a show with called Cigarette Break with La Suze, and it was basically just silliness, but it was great fun. So if you guys ever want to check that out, it's on the Authentic Happiness channel. There's a playlist of all of them. And it's just hilariousness. And that is my friend Aisha. And so I thought I'd put that on there because I thought that was really touching. And I had dug that out. Yeah.
It was very touching. And so, it's a great testament to show why we should all try to be there for each other.
Mm-hmm. Basically, yeah.
Because
we all gotta hold space for each other. No matter what our thoughts are or our opinions are, we all got to hold space for each other because we are all human beings.
Yes, I agree. And we all have a purpose. And you never know that your kind words or your hand that you hold might help a person who is going to help so many people. So
yes, the ripple effect, everybody. I want to say hi to some people. Hi, Jimmy Blanton, one of my favorite people. Hello, Val. Hello, Bat Mom.
Guys.
Hello, Flyby Stew. And hello, my sister. She had a great show right now. She had a show right now, an impromptu show. And what was it? Like gross facts, or what are they? Little known facts. And they were kind of gross. A lot of them were pretty good.
Oh, I want to know one.
They were good though. It was a good show. And then I had to cut out and go eat really quick. So I think that everybody enjoyed it. I know I did. Unsettling facts is what it was about.
Ooh, what's one that sticks in your mind that's gross?
She was talking about how many bugs we eat during our lifetime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, did you know that a long time ago they didn't used to give babies anesthesia for surgeries because they didn't think babies felt the pain? What the hell?
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's quite unsettling.
That is unsettling. I agree. Yes. I feel bad that so there was a cricket in the bathtub, and I feel bad when I don't like crickets, but it's hard to catch a cricket and set it free outside.
Yeah.
So
they jump too much.
Yeah, they do. So there was a cricket died in my bathroom a few minutes ago, and I'm sad about it.
Rest in peace. R.I.P. Cricket.
Yeah, that cricket's been following me for like 3 days too. Yeah.
So I put the link in chat so anybody can join us tonight. We're just talking about whatever tonight, a lot of everything. I hope everybody's doing okay. I hope everybody's keeping their vibrations up, keeping in good spirits. That's what that means when I say keep your vibes up, is to keep in good spirits.
Yes.
So
it's important nowadays. There's so
it's
many
very
scary
important.
bad things that's going on. So
And
many.
also too, like if you're in bad vibes, be aware that you can bring other people's vibes down and they might not know how to put their vibes back up. So be aware that your bad vibes are not cool.
And then also, if there's like something, you know, a lot of times because we're rushed or frustrated or whatever, we don't realize how we could be negatively impacting other people. So if there is somebody who you love who's having a hard time or a rough day, keep in mind how easy it is that you could do something so simple, a simple I love you or a hug that could make a huge difference.
Even a smile.
Right.
Jara,
Right.
I want to introduce you to my friend Jimmy Blanton.
Hi, Jimmy. I like your name.
This is my best friend, Jara.
Greetings and salutations.
He's
Hello,
an amazing
you have
person.
like a rock star name. That sounds like someone famous. How you doing?
I'm great.
What
How are
you
you
been up
girls?
to?
Good.
Same thing as I've always Bigfoot
Well,
and paranormal. I'm
Oh, I
always
heard a interesting story for you guys since you guys are Bigfoot cryptoid people. I didn't even know what that was until today, actually. So there was a story, or I came across this YouTube video where it played a podcast from a lady who saw she had an encounter with a bird-like creature. So I don't know if anybody's heard of any bird-like creatures, but if you'd like, I can tell the story.
Please
real
do.
quick.
Please tell us about this bird-like creature.
So she lives in Texas, and she said that her land, they bought like 16 acres, and it's like pretty densely wooded area. So I'm not sure what part of Texas, but she said they basically took the whole property and they kind of cropped out and de-wooded or whatever, the part where they were going to put their house, like in the middle of this 16 acres. And she said there's like a river that runs through the property up to the back of the house. And it's real secluded and real private. And she said when they did all that she didn't realize, they were going to hear weird things or see weird things. So she said that she always hears weird noises and stuff, but hadn't really ever seen anything. And her husband, he worked on a pipeline. So she would go and visit him where he worked like once a month or something. And when she would drive home, she always enjoyed the last like half mile of her drive from where she turns off of like the main road onto this dirt road where she drives about half a mile and then she gets to her gate. So she said she was on the phone with her aunt, and she knows what time it was because she told her aunt she was in her driveway just because she wanted to get off the phone so she could enjoy that part of her drive. And she says that she always rolls the window down and drives real slow. And it was about 11 p.m. and she was driving down this road, and she said there's this old like water tower, and it's like right by this ranch that's like right before her gate. So she was right by that water tower, and she said she heard like these weird sounds. She heard it before she saw something. So she heard it and could tell it was like coming from the direction of the water tower. So she said that she looked over, and she's not sure how she saw it because it was 11 at night. She's like, I don't know if it was the moon or if they were somehow had light around them or something. But she looked up at the water tower and saw like giant black birds, but they weren't they were like people, but they had giant wings, right?
Oh gosh.
And she said one of them was like 2 feet taller than the rest of them. And she was looking at it like what is that? And she was like looking at the water tower. And then she said, I didn't see it fly, all of a sudden it just appeared like, and it was right in front of her window of her car. And she said that it was she said that it looked like a man, like male features, and he was probably like in between 6'5" tall, and that he had these jet black, almost, she said it was so black it was almost blue, real soft, like soft looking feathers or wings that were feathered, and then his whole body was also covered in feathers, but his face was white. Like white and with like red lips and black eyes. Like she said, she didn't see any pupils or anything. And he had hands. And she said the wings were so big, they were like the whole size of his entire body. And she said, you know, she had a gun, and like she always carried her Smith & Wesson, and she was like frozen. She couldn't do anything. She said he got so close to her that she had to like move away because he like his face was like in her window.
Oh God,
I know. I was like, wow. So she said that, you know, he laughed like this evil, like throaty laugh. And what she saw, the other birds, things that were up there, they were the noise she heard was that they were like chanting something and like dancing some around in some circle.
Wow.
Yeah. And she said whatever they were doing, it looked evil. Like she could, you know, it was like evil. And she said it was so weird because she didn't see him fly. It was like he just appeared. So he was up there, and then he was like right there. So she wound up like, I can't remember like how it happened that she started driving again, but she called her caretaker that stays on the property and said, you know, this happened, I'm coming through the gate right now. Meet me at the gate once I get through or whatever. We got to lock the gate behind us, and then I'm calling the police. And so he was like, okay. So she drove, she got to the gate, she went in, he was sitting there waiting for her, and he was like, where have you been? And she's like, what do you mean? And he was like, I've been worried sick. Where have you been? You said you were coming. And she was like, I just talked to you. Like I literally just talked to you like 2 minutes ago. And he was like, no, it's been 45 minutes. And she said she knows that when she saw the thing, because when she got off the phone with her aunt, it was 11. And she looked down at her watch or whatever, and it was like 12 a.m. So she lost like time.
Nice. That's a real experience for sure.
Dude, it didn't sound fake at all. And so she goes on to say how like the caretaker winds up telling her that he saw it too before she called him. He like saw something, he heard something weird, so he got his gun and he drove down towards the water tower, and he also saw them up on the water tower. And then the big bird man just appeared in front of him, and he got out of the car, right, with his gun. And he said that he was thinking, does that have hands? He didn't say it, but he was thinking that. And the bird man said, yes, I have hands.
Oh shit, telepathy.
I was like, and then she said that he had the caretaker said that he had bright red tennis shoes on.
Oh, hey.
So, and so she was like, oh, I didn't see that. But she also said she didn't try to look down at his feet or whatever. But she said what's weird is that the caretaker has bright red tennis shoes. So she was like, so we don't know if that thing was mocking him somehow or something by appearing to have red tennis shoes on or something. So she was like, well, why didn't you tell me when I called you that you saw that too? And he was like, well, I didn't, because I didn't know like what to think. I wasn't sure if I was crazy or whatever. And she's like, well, I want you to draw what you saw, and I'm going to draw what I saw, and let's see if they look like the same thing. And they did. They look like the same thing.
Ooh.
So then like later, I don't know how much later, but her and her husband were at the property, and she had been afraid to like drive down that same way. So she was like going all the way around to get off of her property for like a couple of months or something. And finally one day she was like, I'm not going to do that anymore. So she went the way that she saw the bird things. And there were these two guys that were at that ranch that was by the water tower. And she stopped and asked them, have you guys seen anything like weird around here? And they were like, well, like, what do you mean? And she said, well, like bird people. And she said that one of the guys was like, I haven't seen anything. He's like, but my brother used to come down from Houston and he would stay with me for the weekend. And one weekend, I guess his brother came down and his brother walked in and was like, told the guy, I'm going back to Houston. I'm never coming back here again. You have something weird going on. And he wouldn't say like what it was. He just said I just saw something weird on the water tower. And he was like, the brother has never come back and he won't talk about it to anybody. He won't tell anybody about the story or anything of what he saw. He just said he saw something evil. And so later, her and her husband, they were outside with their Yorkies, and they have real small Yorkies. And she said, and there was a black, not a crow, but like a raven, like a regular bird, not like a giant bird, but just a regular bird that came and it landed at their gate. So it wasn't in their yard, but it was like on the gate. And then it like jumped down onto the ground, and it was in the yard on the ground. And she said that it was just sitting there, like looking at them. And so she was like telling her husband, like, what's it doing? Like, what's wrong with that bird? It's not acting right. And she said, what's wrong with it? And yeah. And she was like, and I was worried it was going to try to get the dogs. So I walked up to it, and she said that she was like shooing it, and it was just staring at him. So she said it turned around and it like hopped a little bit away, and then it turned around and looked at him, and then it hopped some more and it went on the other side of the gate, and then it would turn around. And she was like, and it acted like it wanted us to follow it. So
I would not follow it.
I know. That's what I was like. Why'd you do that? So then she said that her and her husband, they started following this bird, right? And so her dogs were still in the yard. So they were outside the yard, and they followed the bird all the way to like this part of the outside of the yard where there's like this little garden area, she said. And she said when they got to like that far away from the yard, all of a sudden the bird just disappeared. And she was like, where'd it go? Like, did it go under the brush or whatever? And she's like, and I don't know what it was. But she's like, I cocked my head to the side. The way she said it was funny. She's like, I don't know what it was, but I cocked my head to the side. Like, what's that commercial? Do you need a V8 or something? She was like, I cocked my head to the side, and I said, it's in the yard. And so they started running back towards the yard because their dogs were in the yard. And she said that it was attacking her dogs.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah. So somehow it just like disappeared and appeared in the yard, and it was attacking her dogs. And so she was like, she had hip surgery, like, I don't know, a little ways before then, but she was like, I was trying to take off my shoe, and I was running, and I was like throwing things at it. And she had to, she said she had to rip it like away from her dog. Right. And it wouldn't like go away. So it flew, but it flew and landed on her fence or whatever. And it wouldn't go away. So the husband went inside to get the gun to shoot it. And she said he shot it. He unloaded his 22 on it, and feathers were flying and everything. And it just sat there, and it didn't die.
Whoa, that's crazy.
I know. I was like, okay, lady, you need to move. I would be out of there. There's no way.
That is crazy. So Jimmy
definitely
has a lot of paranormal stories, a lot of paranormal stories. And like, I don't know what you were talking about. Could have been the Mothman, or it could have been Jeepers Creepers. I don't know if that's real or not.
They did say something about the Mothman, but they said something like the stories about the Mothman, they usually fly, or he flies or something. I don't know. Because she was like, this big giant bird thing didn't fly, but it and then another person that lives right around there said that there was a lot of black magic that went on right there, because it was like old slaves quarters that used to be like back in the day or something.
Oh.
Yeah, and she said that she told her, you better leave that alone, girl, because there's black magic.
That could be
Jimmy,
like
tell us one.
That could be like some voodoo stuff.
Yeah, sounds like it. I'm like, that sounds, I don't know. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, tell us a story, Jimmy.
Okay, well, we just started making up a Facebook group. Wanted to get out and do hauntings, check out homes, help people out. There was a lady on there that had basically she was begging us to come to her home. She was having such bad things going on. She had young kids, is what brought us to it mainly. The fact that her youngest son was being, well, as she put it, he was being tortured. He was having his hair pulled, he was being scratched, slapped, and out of all the other kids, he was the one that was the target of it all. So we were like, okay, give us directions to your place. We'll come up the day before and check everything out, and then we'll set something up where we can do an investigation. Um, we do the investigation. We're getting all kinds of orbs and stuff in our pictures. I don't take uh, orbs as fact in homes or outside areas because there's a lot of dust pollution, um, insects, things like that that can distort the image. I have seen orbs. Orbs will make their own light. They they remind me of a old school gypsy crystal
Mm.
ball that she was looking at. And usually they're like that, and on the outside they give off little tiny glimpse like flickers of lightning. That is your true embodiment of a spirit in spirit form, a true orb. And I've maybe seen two of those possibly in the past 15 years of doing this.
Mm.
Um, but we had went to this home. It was a duplex. It was in Glasgow, Kentucky,
Mm.
out west from me. It took us like 5.5 hours to get there. So we get there, we get the rundown of the place, we get to walk through and stuff. So that evening we start taking photos. We're doing EVPs and stuff, and we're not getting much activity except for the upstairs where the kids, their bedroom is at. I could I could feel this pressure around my head, and I'm very empathic, and I could that tells me right there that there's something up there that is not nice. So I tell them there's most something definitely up here. I said, but the we start going down in stairs into the basement where her oldest son was living, who kept to himself down there, was very quiet, didn't have anything else much to do at all with the rest of the family.
Mm.
Um, we go down there. By this time, this oldest son, the father, and the mother are down there with us, and I'm sitting on the steps, and we're running EVPs, and I have a handheld camera in my hand, and we couldn't get this spirit to say anything. So after a while, so finally I got mad. I said, "You're not here." I said, "If you were really here and you're really as mean as they say you were, you would do something or say something." And then all of a sudden, we hear the somebody scream, "Get out!"
Mm.
It sounded like off distance away from us, but it was like right in my ear, right beside me. And I looked at my buddy Dwayne and I said, "I hope, did you hear that?" He said, "Yes." I said, "I hope you got that on camera." And thank God we did. We got it on EVP, but we got it on camera even better. So the audio was great with that. So we were like, well, after a little bit, it calmed down. So we gathered up and I said, the only way we're going to get this thing to actually show itself is to make it mad. I said, I could tell that right off the bat. I said, so we gather up, we go outside, and we're getting ready to pack our stuff up and things like that. Uh, we're sitting on the front porch and we're talking about, our next objective. And as we're talking about these things, um, the lady let it slip. You do know my husband's father was an exorcist, right?
Oh.
And I said no. And
Yeah.
our oldest son is messing around with witchcraft, dark magic,
Oh.
sacrificing animals,
Wow.
things like this. And I told him, I said, hey, I said, you signed a contract with us that has those questions in there. To be truthful,
Right.
that when it comes out,
Yeah.
we have the right to drop you as a client because we don't fool with that stuff. We
Yeah.
let people
Right.
that are more experienced handle those types of things. And I was just so mad and so upset over that. I just she begged us to come back after we had been there. Activity had stopped for about 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden it started up and it started back even worse. And I told them it would when we left because we got them stirred up. And I told them, I said, I'm sorry, we're not stepping back there. Um, I tried getting in contact with some priests for them, and I don't know whatever happened to it after that. I just
Wow.
They
there's
just
certain protocols that we go through, and there's a questionnaire that asks the family history. It's kind of, some people think it's going against privacy, but it's things that we need to know, stating that
right.
if you're
Yeah.
under the influence of some type of drug, if you're having mental problems, do you see a counselor?
Those
Is
are all
anyone
things
in
for
your
your
family
safety.
yeah, are you into black magic, witchcraft, Wiccan, any of those type of things? Because when you open yourself up into the paranormal world, you're basically, it's like going to a rock concert and seeing, you're on the stage and you see all these other people in the stands and they're looking at you. That's what you're doing. You get into that world and you
Right.
open yourself up, and I'm empathic. It's like their eyes are all on me. Hey, we know we can go to this person. This person's going to feel this. This person's going to see this,
Right.
and
Yep.
it's 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 done so that we don't get thrown into a situation where one of us gets hurt.
Yes.
Right.
But some people they get mad, get upset, and they just don't understand.
Mm.
But yeah, it was crazy, and
How did they
that's
even
that's
like
the only
they're
time
okay?
that I.
How do you like know that your son is sacrificing like animals in your basement and like you're cool with that or
Yeah.
whatever? I mean,
How do
maybe
you
they
put
weren't
a
cool with
stop to
it, but
that?
by
Yeah.
not doing something, yeah. Like, how do you not like? That's so weird. You know, I wonder why we have ghosts. Our son only sacrifices animals in the basement.
Well, the bad
And
thing
it
That's
about
can.
it
scary.
actually is there was right across the street. There's on this hill. There's a graveyard there, and mainly there is where they were going and conjure up these so-called demons and stuff. What it was, these things were attaching themselves to him, and he was bringing them home, and that's what was there at their house. It's something
Right.
that he had brought up off the graveyard, and
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean that's common
And
sense
people
tells you don't do that.
Yeah.
And people that sacrifice animals like that, like I don't know, dude. He's like a future serial killer or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Future serial killer. Yeah.
because
You know what? It's for those
that's weird.
questions are really important because anytime you're doing that kind of work, and that's why it's so expensive too, to like have some kind of service like that, because it's a huge energy exchange. And whenever you do anything like that, even like
Hmm.
when I do readings and stuff, it's a huge energy exchange that can totally wipe you out. Even if it's a successful, like good blessing, like lovely one, it'll totally wipe you out. So like that's important to be truthful with those kinds of questions, you know? That
Yeah,
was nice
Yeah.
of you
it,
to get
it took
to call
it
around
probably
priests for
took
her.
me it probably took me about 3 days to recover from that trip. It was awful.
Wow.
There was like so
So
much
is that what you
emotion
do
and,
for
and things going
you're
on. It was just
like a
crazy.
paranormal investigator person?
I'm I started out as a paranormal investigator. I'm also a cryptid investigator also.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's scary. I don't know. I don't like animal people. That's scary for me. I had a nightmare when I was very little about uh, a devil, like half horse, half man thing. I used to have nightmares about that a lot, actually, when I was young. I don't like people that are mixed with animal. It just weirds me out. Yeah, that I saw. I was getting ready.
Your dream is actually very interesting. I think that would be awesome for Jimmy to hear. He probably would have really good insight about it. I don't know if you
Well,
want to tell it.
no, I don't. I don't mind. My cousin and I both actually had the same dream. When I was little, when I was about 2, we lived out on a ranch. My parents had a log cabin that my dad built. It was like 44 acres, I think, up by Flagstaff. And I was like 2 when we lived there. So, but when my cousin and I were very, very close. We were 9 months apart. When we were 5, and I remember, well, he's passed, but I remember this dream so vividly. But we both asked my dad if there was a hole underneath the log cabin, and where they like sacrificed, not sacrificed, where they butchered, because I come from a family of hunters. So we asked if there was a hole under the cabin, because in the dream that we had, we were in bed and we fell off of the bed and we fell through the floor into this hole. It was dirt, like, so that's why I guess that's why we thought it was underneath the cabin. But in the hole, there was a deer that was being butchered. And so we had asked if, there was a hole under the cabin. Even now, I still try to figure this out and ask, are you sure there wasn't like a barbecue pit or something? Because there was a deer that was being butchered and its throat was slit. And, typically when you're butchering an animal, you hang it by its feet. But in the dream, it was hung by its head or its neck. And there was like this devil thing in the pit with the deer, and it was half horse, half man. It had horns, and it was laughing, and it looked like that devil thing on that movie Legend, but less fake, I guess. So yeah, it was weird that we both had the same dream, and we talked about it so young. So I remember it, the dream. I don't know why we would have just came up with that on our own as such young kids. Or why, like, with the discrepancy of, like, because when we actually lived in the cabin, I was 2, and the dream I didn't have until I was 5. So I used to have that same dream
really clear.
I remember it very clearly. Yeah, very clearly. Yeah, I don't like people that are also animals. We grew up with skinwalkers stories a lot too, because we lived up near.
A lot of that here.
Yeah, because
when she first told me that story, I immediately picked up the energy of her from telling that story, and immediately my mind came to like Native American spirit, because a lot of times Native American spirits come up as half animal. And so I asked her, maybe did somebody on that land do something to the land that the Native Americans didn't appreciate? And so like that kind of like stuck out to me. And so I thought maybe there was something like that going on there.
My dad actually tried to go to the cabin with my Aunt Kay and Uncle Larry when he was up there in like last time he was there, which was like a month ago or something. And it's locked up. So he doesn't know if it's a government. I don't know why he thinks that, but he said that you couldn't even get to it. The gate and everything is all like locked up, like it's been boarded up. So,
well, it looks like Ben had a question. He wanted to know, how do you know what kind of infestation you're dealing with? How do you know what it is?
Okay, well, usually when it comes to what the classic cause and infestation of a home, would either be demonic or poltergeist activity. Poltergeist activity is usually is partly them moving things in front of you, knocking glasses over, um, misplacing things in the home. You'll go or
that
you set
happens a
your
lot
keys on
to me.
the table, and then you find them upstairs when you know you put them downstairs. Demonic activity is something that is not only seen; it attacks the senses. You can smell a sulfur smell, which is like uh,
Rotten
really
eggs.
bad stinky eggs.
Oh, okay.
Exactly, eggs. Insects will be in your home, flies and things like that, and you'll get rid of them, and they'll come right back. You can hear growling. There, you'll see shadow beings, which are a lot of people believe that are demons. Um, there just be a streaks of bad luck, that you will be able to feel that presence if it's in a demonic presence.
Wow.
It will let itself known real quick and what its intentions. Once it
Now,
gets to
so is
that
a
part,
poltergeist
that's called
bad too?
Are
a
they all bad?
poltergeist. Poltergeist is no poltergeist is just German for noisy spirit. They're
Okay.
basically just like an aggravating. They're like a 3-year-old. Yeah, they're like a brother, and you say a teenage brother. That's
Right.
Like a
just
prankster?
aggravating. Period.
Right.
Yeah, just move things around, move in front of you, try to scare you, and bang on the doors. Slam doors, slam cabinet doors, and things like that. Things that just uh, it knows it's going to aggravate you, and the more that you try to ignore it, the worse it will get. So what you want to do is um, have a priest come in either way, or someone from the church, and uh, prayer and bless every window, every doorway in your home, and the people that are there. And usually that gets rid of all that. That stops the activity altogether. Unless it's
Now, can you do
demonic.
that yourself?
And
Like, can you be
oh
the
yeah,
one, or does it have to be a priest? Okay.
oh yeah, you can do that as long as you can get a hold of either some holy water or some blessed olive oil. And all you got to do is just make the sign of the cross over each window, each doorway, and pray the Lord's Prayer over it, and ask Michael the guardian, the archangel, to come down and surround your home,
hmm
and pray for each person that's there. And
Okay.
that should get rid of it.
And
Yeah.
then
If
demons
anyone's
are
ever
just
scared, always call on Jesus Christ. He will protect you. I swear,
right.
always, always.
Right. I've done that.
And like you said, I always say, if I'm ever having a creeped out feeling, I always say, for the violet flame of Archangel Michael to surround us and protect us.
So, like, when you see something like a few times here in the house I live in right now, actually, a couple times there's been instances where I thought it was my son. I saw my son, what I thought was my son, walk into his room, but it wasn't him. And then one of my daughter's friends, saw Noah walk down the hall and into the kitchen, and my son was in Utah. So, yeah. So
I've heard of
Is
some
it
kind
frequently?
of people throwing their voice.
no, it's only happened like maybe 3 times since I've lived here. So like
There's
through
also
time.
what is called a residual haunt. It's just a strong piece of energy that has been left in an area, a home, a place that is kind of like a record. It gets played over and over. A lot of people believe that their home's haunted when if you actually pay attention and it happens. It doesn't necessarily have to happen every day. If it's a once in a while thing, pay attention to the way that it's going and what's going on at the time.
Mm.
And if you get a pattern, it's doing the same thing over and over and going in the same direction, then I would say that more than likely that would be a residual haunt.
Now, is that of somebody who's like passed, or a residual haunt, as in like maybe my energy is so strong that there's like a record player of me?
It would be someone that had passed away. It's just in spirit here on earth. It was something that was so strong at the time. It could be pertained to any emotion, anger, frustration, mad, upset about something. That our bodies give out our emotions in that energy,
Right.
and it will cling to things.
Right.
So it's not a ghost. It's just a astral video, basically, of what was going on at the
Right.
time being played over and over, because it will happen a lot of times the same time every day if it does it,
That makes
or at
sense.
the same time when it does it every once in a while. That's what they call a residual haunt is. It's not actually a haunt.
Right.
It's like an astral video. It's like watching a video of someone that's passed away hundreds or
That would make
thousands of years
sense.
ago.
I wonder if, okay, so I
Now,
often see my mom like squirt when I'm at her house. I often see my mom like zoom past the kitchen. And so like that's what she did 1,000 times a day. So that's probably what that is. I mean, I know her spirit's there also, but that's probably what that is. So do you think their spirits are there when it's residual like that? Or is it just a
Yes,
recording?
it's a possibility. I believe that's what the residual haunts are. That's the definition of the residual haunt. It's just that energy of that person is just there. That person, that soul is already gone. It's just some energy that's left over has made an imprint on our world. And it's basically like watching a home movie, because it
right.
will happen it will happen. If it doesn't happen every day, it will happen every once in a while, but it would be at the same time. The person will take the same walk path, and it really can't be explained why that happens, but we know that it's just an energy that's left over.
Now, my cousin, she had paranormal people come to her house once, and it was weird because around the time they didn't find anything, but around that time, my daughter was probably 3, maybe not even, yeah, probably about 3, and we stopped at my cousin's house for something. I had to give her something or something, and we waited in the car while my cousin like ran out, and I gave it to her, and then she went back to the house, and then we left, and we were driving, and my daughter was talking. She's in the back seat, like blah blah blah, and I was like, "Who are you talking to?" And she told me that she was talking to her friend who had wanted us to give him a ride, and I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Where's your friend?" And she was like pointing. She was like 3, and so I was all freaked out like the entire time because I felt like I called my cousin. I was like, "I think your ghost got in my car or something." So like I don't know, like or my son when he was like 2, he used to be talking, and we would ask him who he was talking to, and he would say he was talking to Grandpa Jerry, which is my grandpa, and no one, he died well before my son was born. And we never talked to my son about Grandpa Jerry until he said it first. So like do you hear about stuff like that where kids say things like that?
Oh yeah, yes. children haven't been corrupted by the world at a young age. Until you hit puberty, then you are held for your accountable for your own sin, your own meanness that you get into. Uh, Younger children are pure. They're
Right.
they're not corrupted by the world, and
Right.
they're able to connect and see things that an adult cannot see if you don't have a gift. You're not empathic or psychic medium
Right.
or whatever you want to call yourself,
Mhm.
and that's one of the reasons why that happens.
So how
Some
do you
people
know
just
if a
can't
kid is
understand.
talking to like a bad spirit or if they're talking to a good spirit? Because I'm assuming that demons like to be tricky
Oh yeah.
and pretend like they're light when they're
Well,
not.
children have a way they can see. Demons can't present themselves as another little kid. Um, I had a cousin who had a little playmate that she used to talk about. He was mean, and I said, "Why that?" She said, "Because he doesn't have no eyes." So what do you mean? He says his eyes is black. So you know he's
Ooh.
mean, don't you? You should be playing with him. He says, "Yeah." She says, "I quit playing with him though,
Oh my
and
gosh, that's so
left
terrifying.
her alone." You know, that's it's. I believe God has a law when it comes to things like that because I've been told by other um, people, uh, psychics and mediums that there's a law that if God's law that if a demon shows itself to you, if you will pay attention, the eyes will be missing or a body part will be missing, and that's a discernment of it being evil because it's not whole.
Ah, okay.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes
So
sense.
So
that's
Nikki, our friend Nikki, used to have. She had an imaginary friend, and his name was Jimmy, and he flew a crop duster. And so later in life, I heard somewhere, like on That's Incredible or some old show like that, that a lot of imaginary friends are spirits talking to the kids. You
hmm
think?
yep.
I think.
Yeah, I never had an imaginary friend.
My little son, he used to be he'd be there holding something up to somebody, like handing something to somebody, and it would trip us out. But we know, of course, it was probably one of our parents because our parents had passed, you know.
Yeah. That's yeah. Both my
I
kids
don't mind
used
it.
to
I don't mind it.
talk. Shelly and my niece used to talk to spirits a lot too. Yeah, and she'd go into all kinds of detail about these people. Yeah. That's
When
interesting.
I first started to see spirit, I had a shadow person that would creep around a lot and peek around a lot. And I asked one time, because I was scared at first, but then I wasn't after that. I asked one time, like, who are you and what do you want? Why are you here? And it was my own. It was like my own shadow person. Like it was from whatever. So your shadow could be made up of bad decisions you've ever made, or addictions, or obsessions, or negative thoughts that you hold. So that can take on its own entity. That's what I found out that. So after I knew it was mine, I just like tried not to be shitty, and then it like went away.
That's scary. That's still scary. I
It's
think I'd be
not
afraid of my own shadow more than I'd be like,
right.
where? I thought I heard somebody call my name yesterday or yell, like, not yell it, but say, Jara, like as I was walking out of the room. I was like, because my husband had just left. There's nobody here. I was like, okay, maybe that was just my imagination.
Whatever you do, don't answer them back.
Mm.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't do
So
that.
answering them
And
back,
I
that
won't.
if it's a bad one, that like opens up to like let them in. Probably.
That's death calling. You don't ever answer.
Oh
You
shit.
don't
Okay.
ever answer back.
Oh well, shit. Now I'm never gonna answer when anybody calls my name, just in case. I'm gonna be like, they're gonna be
Uh,
like, why? Why is Jara ignoring us? Well, just I don't know who you are. Like, don't call me something else. Don't call me by my name.
I think
That's
it's a little
scary.
bit different, like if you know you're clairaudient, like because I know the very first things I used to hear was my mother's voice going, Susie. And I knew it was my mother's voice because I knew it was hers. So
What does clairaudient mean?
Clairaudient is when you can hear things that are outside of the spectrum.
I think I do that because I hear things, but I mean, I try not to let it freak me out or whatever.
Oh, bye, Jimmy. Jimmy peaced out. Peace out.
An accident.
So like,
Yeah.
I think like what Jimmy said about the shadow people is pretty accurate. Because Ben is asking what are shadow people in our estimation, and like I think that's true. Like a lot of the shadow people could be demons or bad. But like I just said, if there's a shadow around you, it's very possible that it's your own shadow, because we all have a shadow self. Like,
what do you mean? Like it looks like a shadow? Like it's just like a foggy black, like an outline?
Like a shadow. Mm-hmm. This looks like a shadow person. When you're doing any kind of healing work, you have to do what's called shadow work. And shadow work is when you face the things that you have never faced, the things that are deep down that you have repressed or don't ever face or talk about, things that you have never healed from. They could be, like I just said, your addictions, your bad decisions, your negative thoughts, your shit like that. Which are easily faced if you can. I mean, they're not easily faced, but you can do it. Everybody can do it. I've done it. I'll probably have to do it again.
And see, that's why I don't watch scary movies. I don't know. I used to watch scary movies all the time. Michelle's mom got us into that. Like when we were young,
I used to love scary movies.
Yeah, and I can't watch. I won't because I feel like it lets things into.
Yeah, my mom used to say that. She used to say, if you watch that shit, you're letting that shit in.
Yeah, my mom did too.
Yeah.
My mom did too. Oh, we used to play the Ouija board when we were little girls.
I know,
and
we were really so bad.
Oh no, that was really dumb.
I know, we used to make our own. We were way too young. Number one, we were way too young to be doing that. And then number two, what the hell? What?
I know.
What the hell were we doing?
Yeah, that was not okay.
We would make our very own ones, like daily, and play with that shit until we got freaked out. Remember, we got freaked out, and then we never did it again.
Yeah. There's a few things that that was bad. Bad kids. Yeah, you got to be careful with stuff like that.
You do.
Quantum physics. Oh, you talking about what? The shadow people? Quantum physics. It could be. Quantum physics is very, very tricky, like stuff.
Theory. Yeah.
Big time.
You know what? It could be because there's different timelines, I mean, if you believe that. And then that would be different timelines getting meshed together, maybe. Well,
and like matter behaves differently if it's being observed than if it's not. And
what do you mean?
It's complicated. It's hard. Okay, it's complicated. So there's an experiment that they did. It has to do with like particles and waves. So waves, they don't always behave the same. It depends on if somebody's looking at it or not. I know, and it's like, well, how can you do an experiment like if you're not looking at it? How do you know that? But there's an experiment that explains it. I'm not even going to try because I'll butcher it. But yeah, they behave differently if they're being observed. So that's why they have that whole theory of like something doesn't actually exist until somebody's looking at it. So
yes, that's what Dolores Cannon says.
Yeah. Oh, does she? I didn't know that. Yeah.
Like this room doesn't exist until you come into it. Like, and I couldn't wrap my head around it, but it folds.
Like comes into reality and then like goes away when you walk out of the room. So like technically, if a tree falls in a forest and nobody's there to like it there is no tree because nobody's looking at it.
It's like, does a bear shit in the woods? Just kidding. I'm sorry.
Right? It is weird though if you think about it, because I wonder that a lot. Like, and I didn't even realize I was wondering a scientific question. So like when I used to always think about, because I'm a people watcher. So when I go somewhere, I always wonder, like, I wonder what their life looks like when they're not where I can see them. Or, you know, when I don't even know who they are. So it's not that me seeing them makes them important, like, you know what I mean? But it's like, I wonder what it's like to see people when once they're outside of being with you, because
Right.
it's
That's a weird thought. Like you could think on that forever.
it is a weird thought. I know.
Mhm.
I have thoughts like that all the time.
Like even some people say, like some like I don't know who they are, but people say that everything only exists in your, like everything you see is you. So it's a hard to, that one's hard to explain too. So I'm not
Right.
even trying.
Everything that you see is a reflection of
Yeah.
who you are, or you.
Yeah, something like that. It's your own. It's an aspect. It's like your own. It's, I don't know how to explain it. Someone? Anyone? Where's Donald?
Well, is it?
Donald
Well, there's that
knows
one
everything.
thing, like the different realities. So like right now, there's like your reality, and then is reality A, and then there's my reality from my viewpoint is reality B, and then there's reality AB, and then there's like all these guys. So you have like da-da-da-da, and then there's just like all these realities, and it's like da-da-da-da, and it just multiplies. And
Yeah,
then
isn't that crazy? That's freaking
your
crazy.
mind's like,
It's
it is.
a crazy thing.
It is crazy because it's like there's so many perspectives all happening at the same time, and they're all different.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've heard
It is
about
so
people
crazy.
jumping timelines too. Like they woke up one morning and they were in like a whole different life, but it was their
Dude,
life.
it feels, I've had stuff like that happen to me before where it feels
Crazy.
like it
That's
anyway.
weird, really?
Yeah, well, I told you that I felt like I kind of woke up in a different reality a little bit. I can't really go into, I'll tell you after the show and you'll remember what I mean.
Okay.
But yeah, it's because it does seem like that sometimes.
Yeah,
People
totally. I
seem
did
to
dream one time that I was me in a different part of town and that I was like a cracked out girl, like a crackhead girl. And I had a white car.
Right.
Oh wait, I have a white car now, but in this, and I think I astro traveled to a different timeline to some girl that made a different decision than I did, like because it was me.
I've had dreams about myself like that before.
That's weird,
and yeah, well, even the dreams I've had where I've looked in the mirror and it didn't look like me, but it was me. And then there's the ones that I looked in the mirror and it looked like me, but it was like a different, like the dream that I had about Aisha in the spoon game in the snow.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
On the
And
land.
you know what is the weirdest freaking thing she did to me yesterday? She whipped
What?
out with like like some kind of you know, she just busted out with a paper and started asking me all these questions. It was kind of like a life coaching protocol or some kind of,
like what she was doing in my dream.
Yes.
Right.
Did
you tell her?
I said, she goes, yeah, I did read that. And she's all, look, she's all, I'm doing it. She's like, it was
weird. That's funny. That is so weird. I have the weirdest like little tidbits of prophetic dreams about like the parts that like of things that don't really matter. Like, have you ever been, something's happening, like you're doing something and you're like, oh my God, I like had a dream about that I was doing this. Does that ever happen to you? Like it happens to me a lot.
You want to hear something really funny? So
what?
I know the meaning of deja vu and what is happening and what it means. But I have deja vu about deja vu because I can never remember what it is and I always have to re-look it up.
Oh yeah, you told me that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I can't even tell you what it is right now, even though I've looked it up 100,000 times.
Like not what it means, like specifically, right? Because not like, because it means already.
Like
well, deja vu means already seen. Deja vu, it's French.
Oh yeah, okay. So there's another reason. I should look it up again. I mean, I swear to God, I look it up every time. My phone will probably just go right to it because every time I have deja vu, I look up what it means when you have deja vu, and then I forget what it means when I have deja vu. Then when I have deja vu again, I need to look it up again. So it's so weird. It's the weirdest thing.
Sometimes, like, I feel like I have deja vu so strong. I'm like, I feel like I can predict what's going to happen next. And I'm like, it's like right on the tip of my tongue. But then it goes away just as quickly.
It makes me nauseous when I get deja vu. Here comes Ben.
Everyone. Oh, yay.
Our favorite
Hi,
is
Ben.
our favorite guy. Hi.
Hi, Ben.
Hey, Suzanne. Hey, Jara.
How you doing?
I'm very tired. I've been up since 2:00 this morning. Work today.
Oh, my.
Jara,
Yeah.
we need to talk about finding a different slot for the show. We need to put it a little earlier.
Yeah, I know. We have a
Our
lot of
friends are
like,
over there. Yeah.
right.
Maybe
Yeah,
so.
we can do that.
We're
can
gonna
do
try,
that.
guys. We're gonna try and find a better slot.
Do you have to work tomorrow, Ben?
No, I don't work till Monday night.
Ooh,
Okay,
good. You
good.
get to sit down.
Yeah.
Good. So have you ever had a dream, Ben, where you look in the mirror and it's you or isn't you?
I have never had that kind of dream, but I have had a dream recently about like some kind of like demons and shit. Can I say that?
Yes.
Yeah. The
And
demons are the shit.
but yeah, it was like
what happened with that?
Yeah, what are they
don't know.
doing?
I don't know. It was like a haunting thing, and then all of a sudden it turned into like a demonic thing. But I woke up and my room was really hot, and I mean I live in South Louisiana, so I don't.
Right.
It's gonna be
And
hot.
the air conditioning wasn't on, so I think maybe my physical, what my body was feeling physically, kind of made me, I guess, go to something that I'm not comfortable to wake my ass up. You know what I mean? So I could get comfortable.
Maybe. That's possible. Or you could have been dreaming about demons and you got
Or there
hot
could be
because there was
yeah.
Now Louisiana,
about
there's a lot of stuff in Louisiana, isn't there? A lot of magic and
Yes.
voodoo.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. Yeah.
That's where my biological people are from.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
From where at?
Oh, I think, okay, I don't know if this is right. Is there a place called LaSalle?
There could possibly be. I don't know about it, but
I think that's where my grandmother was from. I'd have to look it up, but I can do that. I'm not positive. I want to say it's LaSalle, but let me see here. If that's even a place. I could be totally making that up.
A lot of people that I've talked to that say they've had. Oh, go ahead to answer that.
So he said, I'm the same dude who couldn't understand his accent. Really?
Ask him if he remembers me. So do you know who Fly
Oh,
By
yeah,
Stewart is?
LaSalle Parish. That's where it's at. LaSalle Parish is where my
That's where
yeah.
he's from.
LaSalle Parish. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. Yeah. I could not understand what. Where's it? Is he from Australia?
Oh, is that where is he from? I have never heard him yet. I haven't heard his voice yet. So that's cool. I love that accent.
Oh, I know. Fly by Stu. So you're from he's from Australia?
Yeah, he's going to tell us a story. He's going to tell us about having attachments. We're going to have a show on that.
Oh, cool. Sweet.
I actually got trained to do spirit detachment. I took a class for it. And
Donald's having a dream about having a car accident.
Donald, I was waiting for you to come in.
He's having a recurring dream of a car accident that he thinks is when he meets his maker. Could that be a premonition?
No, it probably means something else. I'll look right now. I just hold on. What am I doing? Okay.
Who are you with in the car accident?
Now, Donald, I'm on it.
Are you driving, Donald, or are you riding?
Yeah.
Oh,
Where are you
Flyboys teach
going?
from the UK.
What's around you and where are you going? And same with you. When you were dreaming about the demons, where were you? Like where was the dream
I was
setting?
just, I was, I knew I was sleeping in my bed, but I just had dreams about like demons in my house and shit.
Hmm.
Were they hurting you or anything, or you were just aware
No,
of them?
so there was like I guess poltergeist, like he said, noisy ghost in German, but there was
Mhm.
poltergeist earlier in the dream, and like things were moving and shit, and and like I looked and I kept looking, and all of a sudden, like it devolved into look at something. It's a demon face, like the Exorcist face.
Oh. Ooh, that's scary.
Yeah, it fucking sucked.
That
Yeah,
okay,
that is
so
scary. Was
Yeah, I
it
woke
doing
up.
something?
I
Or
mean, it
it
was
was just a
just
face?
making noises. But whenever I saw the demon looking face, I woke up.
Yeah, that's
I know.
scary.
How about here's a good question. Were you having conflict with anyone at that time when you had that
Yeah,
dream about demons? Yeah. Because
yeah.
a lot of times when you dream about demons, it like it represents a conflict that you're having.
Okay.
Or
Hmm.
like an internal trauma or
No, I'm good.
Had you had fried chicken before you went to sleep?
Probably. Yeah, probably.
No,
Yeah.
seriously, fried chicken. I don't know why. Fried chicken gives me it
Makes you
can give
dream
me
about
crazy
demons?
nightmares. It can give me well, I mean, I have crazy dreams no matter what, but if for some
Yeah.
reason fried chicken really brings scary dreams out in me for some. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can't eat it too close to going to bed. So, and no, I'm serious. I'm serious. I'll have like a scary dream and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I had fried chicken. I don't know what it is. There's something in it that like makes my brain think of weird things or something.
so like in the tarot, dreams the devil card symbolizes like your if you have like an addiction or an obsession, or if you're obsessed with something, your fears or like your like anxieties.
Hmm.
So maybe if you were having that high anxiety or high conflict, maybe that's why you dreamt about a demon. Maybe.
Uh,
I don't know. But let me tell you
maybe.
this too, is that I've talked to people who have had interactions with demons and they all give you the same symptom, that that they're hot, that they just got they were just hot as shit. So
Really.
that's
Ew.
yeah, so that's weird. So there's that.
That
There's
connection is
that.
scary. That connection is really scary.
It is. It is.
Yeah, it is. I know. She's like, so there's that. Sleep well.
Yeah, yeah.
That
I
is
don't want to have shit to
terrifying.
do with demons at all.
No, nobody does. We all
You
have
know what I
demons.
dream about, like
Our own
kind of
demons.
often, Susie, is like I get thrown around a lot in dreams. Well, I have a okay,
Really?
not okay. When I say a lot, what I mean to say is like I have a reoccurring dream, but it's like in different settings where I can't control where my body is going. So I'm being moved like this,
Oh, weird.
Wow.
like throughout the
Like,
room, and like
oh,
I try to grab onto things and it's not me, and I know that it's something bad that's moving me. Yeah, I dream
weird.
about that
Okay. So
often,
what would you call
actually.
that? Like, what if you
Damn.
were to say a name to that? What's happening to you? What would you
Um,
say it is?
well,
In
it reminds me of, the movie Poltergeist, where like she thinks
Yeah.
it's cool that the chair keeps like scooting across. So
Oh yeah.
it does that, but it does it with me. And a lot of times when I have that dream, in the same dream, I have the little shards of glass. So I'm like being drug like on the floor, and there's little shards of glass, and it hurts. And it obviously because I'm being drugged through shards of glass, and I know that I only have like a second to hold on to something, and then it's going to drag me again, and it will literally go all night. It feels like all night, like feels like hours of being drugged
For
through
real?
glass, for real. Yeah, like that. It doesn't feel like a pleasant, like it feels like a icky feeling dream.
That sounds like an icky feeling, dude.
Yeah.
So wait, what was Donald saying? That he had a car crash. So a car crash is just
Yeah,
when
and
you're out, when you don't have control, when you feel like you don't have control of something, or when you have remorse for something, or when what is the other thing? When you're not accepting something. That's what a car crash is.
Would it matter that it's on the same place? Like, is there something significant to Sunny Hollow? That's something that happened to you there, maybe, or like
it says here,
something
always
that
at
it
the same
represents.
place. I wonder what that means. Let's think about that. So if it's always at the same place, it's something familiar. So it means something that's close, something that's daily. So that would probably be like something like that. Something daily that you might not be accepting, or maybe something daily that you don't feel like you have control over. Do you die in your dream, or do you feel the impact?
I don't think anybody ever dies in their dreams, do they? Or is that a myth?
I don't think I ever have. Or you can't. So like, you know how when you have dreams that you're falling?
Right.
People say if you fall all the way to the bottom that you'll die. You won't wake up. Well, you won't, because I would tested myself one time. I was like being lucid dreamer, and that happened. And I was like, I'm not going to wake up. I'm going to fall all the way to the bottom. And you just don't. You don't die. Promise.
Right. I don't think you can die in your dream.
Probably not.
Was sleeping and woke up and remember that. See the guy.
What would happen if you die in your dreams?
I know what happened. Like when I think I just floated up when I was falling.
I wonder if you can't die in your dream because you don't know what it's like to die, but that wouldn't make sense.
Maybe.
Well, I don't know.
It would make sense.
Well, because I fly in my dreams, but I don't know what it's like to fly in real life.
Yeah.
But I can fly in my dreams. So I don't.
Do you have to flap your wings to fly?
No, I just can go up now.
You just fly.
Well, it hasn't always been like that. It used to be where I would swim, like I would be like swimming.
Exactly.
Yeah. But now I can just go up. But I haven't flown in a long time, actually. Now that I think about it, I haven't flown in my dreams in a while. That's weird.
So it's just like swimming through water, and you have to kind of move your arms to kind of keep the air under you, right?
Right, that's how it used to be, but then I got better at it. I don't know how apparently you can get better at stuff in your dreams, because now I can just go up. Like I don't have to move anything, and I can like stay in one spot, and like I can like rotate, or I can focus on something, and then I can zoom there faster, because I was having dreams where I had to fly for distances, and I was getting tired and having to like land and then rest for a second and then go back up. So I figured that I was also getting lost a lot. So I figured out that if I focus on something, that I'm able to like zoom to it quickly.
When you get lost in your dreams, when you're lost in your dreams, it means you're searching for something that you haven't found yet.
Oh yeah, that happens to me. I always lose my car in my dreams. I'm always lost.
I lost my car in my dreams too. Yeah. And it fit together when I found out that it was about like searching for something. It really fit together with my life.
Yeah, that's my dreams have been not as awesome as they used to be.
What is she doing?
LOL. Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby, oh.
Talking dirty in there. Hurry, man.
Oh, do you feel pain in your dream? I do. I feel pain in my dreams.
I don't think I've ever felt pain in a dream. I don't think I have.
Really? Oh, you're so lucky. I feel pain bad.
That would suck.
Yeah, it does suck. Real bad, actually. It sucks bad.
I feel. Val said something. Because, like, remember you were telling us the other week about that guy at your work that's kind of an asshole? And then were you dreaming about that demon around that time when you met that guy? Maybe that's the demon. That's a conflict. I don't know. Is that what you meant, Val? I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't think I've ever dreamt of a demon either. Nope.
I don't think
said,
I've seen. I've had a hoof devil guy, but demons and devils in my brain are different. I don't know why.
Yeah. Do you guys see? Okay, I know what
think
you
of
see.
them
You see like
differently.
the devil from Legend, right? That's what you told me one time.
Right. But I don't
Yeah.
see. I consider devils and demons to be different.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. I just think they're different.
What's your what's the difference between them for you?
Demons are more. That's like evil incarnate. A devil
Oh, okay.
is like.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
They're different.
Yeah.
I don't know. I try not to like say the D word.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel pain when I feel like that when I have the glass like in my skin. I feel that. I feel people poking, like if people poke me, like poke my ribs a lot and like dreams, and that for some reason I don't know, maybe in a past life I think I might have been crushed or something. My sternum might have been busted or broken or something, because
sure
I have
was,
that
yeah.
a lot. I dream about that a lot, where people are pushing on my like rib cage, and I hate that. I hate that feeling.
Do you have anything like on like that you can't stand? Like, can you not stand things around your neck, or like do you have a weird scar anywhere? Or like birthmark, I mean?
Who, me?
Oh,
Either of you guys.
no, not really.
Because they say like that could be how you died in your past life. Like if you can't stand things around your neck, you're probably like
I can't.
Hung. Or like me, since I'm an overthinker, they say that I was probably like beheaded, which I have had past life regression therapy, and I was beheaded a few times. So like,
Really?
yeah.
How do you go about getting past life regression therapy?
How do I know about it, or what? How do
you go about getting that?
Oh, you go through a hypnotherapist, through me. Hopefully through me, everybody in this room, because that's my jam. That is one of my favorite things to do. So you just you go under hypnosis. And your subconscious mind remembers every life you've ever had. And your subconscious mind is basically your higher self. Like your higher self is a culmination of all the selves you've ever been and all the knowledge they've ever gained. So like that's what
is it a culmination of the self that you'll be too? All the ones you've ever been and all the ones you will ever be?
Because in that, like in the theory of that, it's quantum. So it's quantum healing. So in the theory of that, everything's happening at the same time. So yeah, you can talk to your future self as well under hypnosis.
Pretty and crazy, see, that's weird, because how does your future self know that you're going to be that future self, because you haven't made the choices yet that are going to get you to that point?
Well, you can change it. That's why it's good to do that therapy. That's why progression therapy is good, because you can talk to your future self and make different decisions.
But then won't you delete the future self that talked to you?
Yeah, but that's fine.
If you make different decisions.
Yeah, that's okay though, because things
that always boggles my mind.
It is crazy. Okay, let me tell you, it's the particle theory, because we're all particles and we're all always in motion. We're all energy, so anything can change at any time. You can change it at any time.
We're particles and waves.
We're always moving. We're always in motion. That's what that's what creates our vibration. That's when I say we're vibing high, because we're like in high vibration. And when you're vibing low and you're being an asshole, then you're vibing low. So we're always moving. We're particles. We're like
Donald. I believe that you should avoid anything that your gut tells you to avoid. So if your gut tells you to avoid driving that route, then avoid it like the plague.
Yes, follow your instincts always, everybody. Your intuition that's why it's there.
Yep. Yeah, always listen to your gut, always. because
So is
that
it getting
is
pretty late? Should we round her up? Should we round it up?
travel same route on a horse instead of a car. That's funny. Yes, we can. Is there a time that works? Like that? Anybody have any
Let's see.
suggestions on?
They know
times or-
they know when everybody's show is on, so it's a good time to ask. So on Mondays is Joe's show, but it's kind of early. Does anybody know what time Joe's show is on? And then on Tuesdays is Mog's, and then after his show is like 8:30 already, or 8 or something. I don't know what time it ends. And then Wednesday. Who's Wednesday, guys? Who's on Wednesday's show? Anybody? Bueller? Nobody.
Bueller.
Where's my sister? She went to bed. Party pooper.
Bueller.
We'll have to figure out who shows on what nights, and because I don't want to step on any of our veterans' toes, because they were here before.
Yeah.
And so
Absolutely.
we will figure it out. But I think let's get a little earlier time.
We'll probably all be bright. I hope so, Donald. I hope so, actually, because that'd be fun.
Oh yeah, dude,
I would like that.
I'm an animal whisperer. All right. Well, I think we should round it up. I'm getting tired.
Yes, I know.
I'm sure that Ben is tired, and all of our folks are tired. We keep them up late, but thank you guys. Party on! Thanks for staying up.
Right?
With us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good show.
In my sister's show earlier, she had one of the facts, and one of the facts are the people that stay up late are more likely to be psychopaths or something. Yeah.
I will go with the awesome one.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you for coming on. We like it when people join us. It's funner that way.
Y'all have a good one.
I'm going to play one of my ads for you guys really quick, and then that'll be it. So good night, guys, and thanks for joining. And then Jara, you stay on, okay?
Okay.